Leaders of Tomorrow, India's only daily television platform for small businesses. We bring you the right information to empower you, the SME entrepreneur. Tonight on the show, the influencer conversations. First up is with Lakshmi, and our second, the influencer tonight, is with Pinpark. Our first, the influencer chat tonight, is with an offering specifically designed for women. The idea behind Lakshmi is that how much money women make, how they're saving, how they're investing, and what they're spending it on is very different from their male counterparts, and therefore the financial advice that they receive as far as investing and saving also has to be very specific to their gender. I caught up with the founder of Lakshmi, Priti Rathi Gupta, to understand really what the idea was behind this venture, her own journey as an entrepreneur, as also the way forward. Priti, thanks very much for speaking with us here on the Leaders of Tomorrow. We talk very often to entrepreneurs to try and understand their inspiration really behind setting up of businesses, and for someone like yourself who's in a business in a market that's quite niche, it's still a very new area in India. I want to start by talking about what led you to setting up Lakshmi.
So I think Lakshmi is really the outcome of many years of experience in the financial services. And what really the largest and the biggest realization over these 18 years of my experience in the financial services is that the one segment that really shies away from investing is women. And today, if you look at, half your population really kind of shying away from it, it just leads you to think that, especially being a woman myself in this field, that there is just so much of there's a huge gap, a huge potential. More than anything, I think it's that whole idea of creating really shared value, which means that you are providing, one would call it a product, I actually call it a life skill, to a target audience, which obviously helps them completely redesign, recreate the way they live their life, because at the end of the day, financial freedom, financial independence is the core of everything that you would do.
Let's talk about Lakshmi, and if we can break it down for viewers in terms of how the app really works.
So Lakshmi is a mix of an online, offline platform. The app is the online piece, where we have different ideations on content. So there's a lot of content that women can read before they take that step of really getting into financial planning or investing. There is an entire learn module where you can actually go through an online course, which are 5-minute modules, which you can read on the go. And then there is actually the investment platform. The app is actually largely an enabler, but there is a very rich offline community that we are setting up. Now, two realizations. One, I think the idea was to simplify financial planning for women. And, 4 broad pillars: earn, spend, save, and invest. How do you look at all of these pragmatically to ensure that you are doing great financial planning? And the second important thing was that we realized over our surveys that as women, we like the peer-to-peer interaction, and we tend to kind of draw inferences from our peers to all that people around us are talking, particularly women, to really say, okay, this works for me. So what we've done is create an offline community called Lakshmi Circles, which is going to, the whole idea is to have a lot of networking, meeting of like-minded women whose aim is really to attain financial freedom.
So you're saying money management and financial independence for women entrepreneurs, and my question to you really is whether women entrepreneurs are approaching money differently from their male peers. Why is it different? Why did you feel the need for a product like yours? Do you think it's their needs are different, or is it just a mindset issue about how women are approaching money and financial planning different?
So I think both of these are right. Clearly as women, it's, if you look at all the statistics, it'll tell you that as women, we earn far lesser than our counterparts. And I hope that changes in the near future with more and more awareness and knowledge about it. But I think as of now, it is statistically proven that at the same post, as their counterparts, we draw lesser salaries. Second, our life stages are very different. If for us marriage childbirth are all milestones which actually in some way change, or either we take a sabbatical, it's a setback to our career. So therefore those are different life stages that we have to navigate, which is completely not applicable to our male counterparts. So these two are very, very women specific things that Lakshmi needs to, we wanted through Lakshmi to address. The second important part, like I said, was that because of all of this, there's a fear that women do not look at investing themselves. One is, of course, the education or awareness. And I think that's a bit of a vicious circle, because if you don't have that awareness, you tend to be, there's a fear, intimidation around it. And I think one of the largest factors that we realized was our orientation. That investing is to be done by our men, father, brother, son. Which is great. I don't have issues with that. But today, given how lifestyles are, given how life is changing, and how women are talking about financial freedom, empowerment, feminism, if you're not financially powered, if you're not financially independent, then I think all of it really doesn't pan out as much as we'd like to.
Sure.
And therefore, I think just to break down that myth also, that it's all right for you as a woman to take charge of your money and manage it, because your needs are different, your life stages are different.
Okay, so then through this conversation, I want for you to talk to our women entrepreneurs watching this interview about some of the common mistakes that you're really seeing being made when it comes to financial planning.
Well, financial planning, I think 2 or 3 things that that one needs to look at, and which is what I realized, that women, see, as women, we are very, very conservative. We like our money to be safe. But while it is safe, we forget that it may or may not be growing.
Okay.
So for us, the best mode of really saving our money or keeping our money has been bank accounts or fixed deposits, because that's orientation again, or gold. Now one needs to really look at what your life goals are, and most importantly look at inflation and say, is our money really working for us? And I think even if you pay just that little bit of attention to inflation, for example, we say inflation is 5%, but really for most women who are buying luxury goods, electronics, home products, lifestyle goods, your inflation is way, way higher. It is close to 8 to 10%. So the money that you're actually saving, you need to make sure that you're getting at least more than 8 to 10%, or as much as 8 to 10% of return on your money. Now, is everywhere, anywhere that your money is parked, are you getting that return? If you're not, then your money is actually not growing. In fact, you're losing money. Even if you take care of that one important aspect, I think, we can, it's a great way of going forward and saying, okay, decision making, that, okay, then my money needs to be in these products.
Sure.
Second important thing I realize is, the minute women start their jobs or careers, 2 things that they really kind of get into is buying a home, because that's orientation. You're earning your money, you must now have a home of your own, and insurance. I think you need to look at both of these. Again, these are very need-based. There are a lot of filters. You want to get into a home loan as soon as you begin your job is probably one of the biggest mistakes that you will do. You need to look at different filters. Do you have an emergency fund? Are you in a stable job to take on an EMI and pressurize yourself right now? And second is insurance. You need to get into an insurance when you've built up those liabilities.
Sure.
That's when, because otherwise you have an outflow from your savings or from your earnings.
Sure. You talk to women who are typically in the age of 22 to about 35, 36, and my question to you is whether women outside of the metros are accessing a platform like yours differently. What insights can you offer someone watching this interview about how women in, say, tier 3 or tier 4 are planning their money differently?
Well, I think Lakshmi is in fact more suited to women in the tier 2, tier 3 city, because one, it is an online platform. Sure. Also, we realize that while we have very strong women communities, they are again very, very city and urban centric.
Sure.
And therefore, the need to reach out to women who have the hunger, who know that they want to be financially independent, who want to manage their money, but unfortunately do not have access to advice, information coming in their way.
Sure.
And therefore that reliance on then, maybe somebody within the family who can take charge of it or who can take care of it. So I think Lakshmi aims to talk to women across, we've not tied ourselves to saying tier 1 or tier 2.
Okay.
One, because being, like I said, online platform, it can be accessed by anybody. I think the fact that we have content, right now we are very English based, but that is also a realization that today, whether you look at all social media platforms, which is again being largely accessed, Instagram today is the most used social media platform for a 22 to 35-year-old. They're using English as a language. So we realize language is not really a bar when we want to talk to women for our target audience. So I think the online platform makes it very easy.
Okay, so you're talking about social media. I just want to go back to that. Again, insights about how women are perhaps, how really the mindset and how the behavior is really changing when it comes to being okay learning about, products like yours, for instance, on a social media platform. What has been your learning?
Well, I think there's a keen awareness. I mean, we've, for example, we do these offline workshops, which is boot camps for financial planning. And the way we talk about it or reach out to our, target audiences through social media.
Sure.
And the kind of response that we've got through the social media is amazing. Because I think the fact that you are, not really in person accessing or let's say face-to-face accessing that information makes it easy to download all the information that you would want.
My last question to you really is, what's on the plate for you as far as, the next couple of years are concerned?
So I think the next couple of years, Lakshmi is the way we are, like Lakshmi it's a very niche segment. And therefore, I am really aiming to run it as a startup. It is not a product, it is a life skill. It will take time to build up, which is the reason why you see there are no women-specific products really in this space. And the idea is to actually create a very large enriched community. And I think that's a process. It's going to take us a couple of years to get there. So I think the next 2 years I have my hands busy with Lakshmi.
Wish you all the very best.
Thanks
for your time. It's time for a quick break here on the show, but on the other side, we're going to bring you the story of Kochi-based Pinpark. What are they doing? We'll tell you more on the other side. Just stay tuned. Welcome back with us here on Leaders of Tomorrow, and tonight on the show, we are bringing you a second the influencer conversation with Kochi-based Pinpark. For any of you who are familiar with driving in any major city here in India, the issues and the pain points connected with finding a good, convenient parking space is not alien to you. And there's an innovator that has come out in this space, and that's Kochi-based Pinpark, which helps you find parking spaces in real time. Pooja Jain was in Kochi to talk about innovation and disruption, and she caught up with this very unique startup, listening to what they had to say about where the idea came about and also what the road ahead is looking like.
All roads lead to Kochi. It is the hotspot of IT and tourism, and development is its new mantra. But on its road to development, Kochi faces a roadblock, literally. Yes, traffic blocks. More than 1 lakh vehicles arrive to the city through Edapalli, the administrative headquarters Kakinad, and outer city through Ponatra. Cars alone make 38% of them. The number of vehicles has increased 3 times during the past 3 years. Kochi, a home to smart city and many high-profile projects, faces a big parking challenge. As a result, no parking boards are seen everywhere.
Our understanding is that Pinpark has developed a mobile application via which end users can reserve parking spaces with a simple swipe of their smartphone. So what inspired you to build such an app? Were you drawing from personal experience perhaps?
See, starting off any startup is a pain point. It is certainly the same thing what actually took us for developing Pinpark. That's like initially itself we thought through and envisioned a concept of happy parking for the customers, and we set out and started implementing the parking solutions in and around Kochi, and this is how we have built. That's like starting like if you look at 20 months back, we started it off with hardly 60 parking spaces, and today after 20 months now we manage around 4,500 plus car parking spots in Kochi. This is our journey.
Well, you're taking a very physical experience, parking one's vehicle, and turning it digital. What challenges did this bring into play from a user design perspective?
See, as you said, the typical parking culture is that you get a slip or a printed receipt has been given to a person who is actually parking. So what we did is we slowly converted this whole process into a digitization mode, and over a period of time, what we have done is each and every step of our journey is more close to our customers. Whenever there is a change, what customer actually asked us to do, we have done that. So in short, in last 20 months, if you look at the first experience what they have got, and today it has spanned across every change what they have asked us to do, and whatever actually suited them. Right now we are working on a concept called as seamless parking, which would help them to park their car without any hindrance. That's like somebody stops them in front and then gives a ticket. Such things will not be there in coming days. This is the kind of user experience what we give to our customers.
Okay. Well, how does this application recognize real time which parking spots are available versus those that are occupied?
See, Pinpark is a company which runs on the latest technology. So what we do is we merge machine learning technique extended to IoT devices, and it is this IoT devices which sends back the alerts saying which is free, which is vacant, and other things. Adding to this, we leverage the technology of automatic number plate recognition system, RFIDs, the IoT devices and other things together. And what we do is we actually collect millions of data points from these things. That's like, it is more of a hybrid application platform.
There's no shortage of parking spaces per se, but those parking spaces are simply not conveniently located. They're well beyond walking distance. How do you intend to tackle this issue?
So now we are planning to have a crowdsourcing mechanism where one person with one single parking space available in an area could be uploaded to our system, and this could be sold for our customers. So when I'm able to bring that kind of an asset into our system, this problem would definitely get resolved.
If a crowdsourcing strategy is what you're adopting, does that mean that individuals, families, landowners, so on and so forth, can all take advantage of their unused parking spots, register them via the Pinpark app, and the Pinpark pool of parking spaces grows in the process?
Absolutely. And this is what we have been doing. That's like any individual or a family who's having a large chunk of land within the city or in the proximity of the high traffic zones, they could definitely onboard those places to us, and we would man and manage the whole thing for them. Currently, as a next step, we are speaking with institutions, schools, or else religious institutions which are having prime location, which are in prime location and having an extra land. We are speaking with them and telling them to convert that into a parking spot as and when required, because we have this flexibility on our system to switch it on and switch it off whenever it is actually useful. This would actually helps us to add more spaces and add more pools on a daily basis.
Well, your business model certainly seems to have gone through a lot of organic iterations. So for sake of our SME audience, if you could walk us through the monetization model that you're envisioning here.
See, we have different monetization model for different businesses. Monetization models depends on business model. But the majority of the things, or the majority model, works on a revenue sharing thing. We do have other models that's like for specific for event, that could be a one-time setup, or else we run SaaS model kind of a scenario. We work as a solution provider. So for all these different models, we have different monetization models as well. So in short, to answer your question, it completely depends on the business model what we have with our customer.
Well, how replicable is this model then, and what are your expansion plans outside of Kochi?
See, the model what Pinpark actually run is global. So what we are looking right now is we are actually learning the things what is happening in other cities, just to understand, because we have started it off with the city of Kochi, and currently we are looking out for other cities. So right now our team is around other cities to understand what is happening, what needs to be done, what are the customization or what are the kind of localization we need to do for those cities. So to quickly wrap it up, what I would say is we are definitely going to launch in other 2 major cities in another 6 months to 10 months time, and yeah, it's all about the time. We'll definitely be there.
Given the low cost of operating in Kochi and given its infrastructural setup, does this city pose a unique location advantage? And if so, how have you leveraged it to your benefit?
I don't think it's low cost here in Kochi. Like any other city, it's on a higher side itself. But as a local boy or the localite of Kochi, there are many things what actually help me, because talking with people becomes easier, convincing people become easier, and these are the things what actually help me. The second one would be the government. That's like the Kerala Startup Mission is one of the most startup friendly government organization where you could find across India. That's what I feel. So they have supported us in helping this span in a very good way.
So sir, with Pinpark, you've taken an everyday issue and turned it into an enterprise, right? So that said, any words of wisdom for our SME community watching Pan-India?
Let me quote one of my heroes. He's Jamie Lanier. He's a Brazilian mayor who converted his city of Curitiba, the city of Curitiba, into one of the most livable cities in and around the world. So what he said is, cities are not problems, cities are solutions. It is just about what we look at. And so what I suggest to our SME friends and startup friends is that always look for solutions around you, because India is a developing country and you definitely have many solutions to be pulled out so that it is going to help our country to develop more.
Alright, that's our show tonight. If you want to be featured here on the show, like either of our 2 companies, do let us know more about your innovation. Get in touch with us on our email ID, leadersoftomorrow@timesgroup.com. Get in touch with us on social media on Sunanda_J or LOT_ET Now, or you can also reach us on our Facebook page, Leaders of Tomorrow on ET Now. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.